Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here for episode 11 of Love is Blind. And with me is Tamika. How's it goeseth, Tamika?
Oh, I'm here. Love is blind. You like I think I called it. I think there is not much love we're gonna get this season.
Mm-hmm.
I
And,
think I called it.
you know, I've been finding this season entertaining. I am
Yes,
enjoying this season.
I
I'm
will say
enjoying
that.
watching it.
Yes.
And I guess I have to wrestle with Netflix is creating a television program.
Correct.
So I have to maybe just think about that instead of thinking that they're creating couples that are going to the altar and potentially getting married. I think that I have to put aside that fantasy of this experiment actually be done in good faith, that
Mm,
people are coming onto the show to really participate in this experiment and realize that it actually is just a television show.
right.
Because as much as I'm entertained, I'm really kind of heartbroken for some, like, for instance, someone like AD, who really is going head first into this experiment. She wants to get to go to the end. She wants to say yes. She wants the person that's with her at the end to say yes. And I just don't think that that's going to happen for her because of the person that they chose to be on this show. Now,
Correct.
I don't know if you heard, but there was this guy that made it through a lot of stages in the casting that was recently divorced, and they scouted him, I think, through Instagram. And he was like, well, I don't really know if it's right for me to do this right now because I'm married. And he's like, they're like, well, we need all different types of people on
Right.
this show. And he's like, so he went through a few stages, and then he's still continuing being like, I don't think I'm ready for an engagement. It's like, you don't have to commit to anything. It's like, no, he does have to commit to things. That's how you should be vetting people, is that people that want to get married. And I guess they don't think that that's going to be an interesting enough show. But I'm just kind of tired of them tormenting people that are actually looking for love. I think it's a little bit unkind.
I will say this. So Kinetic produces multiple shows. I mentioned this either here or on my channel when we talked about Love is Blind. So they do Love is Blind. They do Married at First Sight. They do Claim to Fame, The Ultimatum, and they used to do the 7 year itch or something it was called, and Black Love, right? And they've had a couple of spin-offs. They have built this media conglomerate. Great. My problem is when Married at First Sight came out, I felt like that's what the concept was. They were bringing people who wanted to get married, but like they were doing this thing where, oh, like maybe if you like threw away everything you want, you could actually maybe get the real person that you need, right? The first few seasons, it was like trial and error. Maybe it did work, maybe it didn't work, whatever. The last few seasons have been gross and horrendous because you can tell that they are literally casting for TV. And at the end of the day, I feel like that show is worse because people have to get married to these people. They sign away all their rights to anything. And so I agree with you. Like I said, I didn't watch season 3 because I got a little burnt out from seeing, like, you could tell like there's just people just hopping on here to just be on TV, right? And it's unfortunate because I really like the concept of this show. But yeah, no, they're not casting for people to find love. They're casting for people to entertain us. And I say at least with this, people aren't like necessarily
Right.
having to get married. And I will say though, this season is more entertaining. I agree with you that I do find some people's behavior beyond gross because I feel like human feelings were involved, and we'll discuss that. But last season I feel like was beyond anything. What they did, that I think they really thought they had some gold TV on their hands, was inappropriate. And I hope we never, if I'm going to watch this show just like, oh, it's just an entertaining show, fine. I hope they never do what they did last season to a person again. What they did, what they allowed Uche, Lydia, and Milton to do to Aaliyah, I feel crossed the line.
100%. And hi, Rachel. Rachel says, hey, ladies, agree with Mika. They cast for drama rather than people seeking out genuine connections, both Married at First Sight and Love is Blind. Yeah. And I don't know if, like, they always seem to do this. They seem to realize that they don't realize what the actual formula is. Yeah. The actual formula is real connections, right? Correct. That's what works. Any reality show, what works is when it's real. I always go back to when I think his name was Sandhurst, but his name was Liming with Sandman. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how he was on reality TV back in the day. And he was mentioning about how the table flip on Real Housewives of New Jersey really catapulted
the landscape of television.
Yep. Exactly. A reality TV, because they wanted to recreate that moment. But that moment isn't recreatable because it was authentic, and that's why it was electric and it was shocking. Having a moment being just manufactured, it doesn't have the same hit. It doesn't hit the same. And these people aren't actors, they're real people, so it just does not work. And so I feel like they had a hit. Season 1, we're in the pandemic. Everybody was home. Everybody was watching the show. They're seeing real love connections. Oh my God, this is wild. People are getting married. What is happening here? Like, it was so dynamic to see it for the first time. And so many eyeballs were watching it. And they're trying to recreate the drama of that first season. But these people had no idea they're going to get famous from the show. They had done it 2 years prior before it even aired. And they didn't receive like so much success. And now all the people that are going on the show will get like 1 million subscribers, and they're able to create a new living. And now they can come on the show with different intentions. And then also the producers are able to pick people to play different roles, as opposed to picking people to go for
to
love.
Match to people's love interest. Yes. Yep. That literally, that's what they're doing. They're picking people for roles. We need the dramatic person, the funny black person, that is not. We don't want people to fit into roles. And yes, there are some people who don't care and just want to watch roles. And we do see that's social media following. I think we're seeing that with the couples, right? Like right now, Johnny and Amy are the least followed couple, and they're also probably the most stable on this show. But I think for the show itself, like what has been proven, I feel like after 6 seasons, that when you have successful couples, you have successful experiences, you have a love story that comes out of this. You had 2 season 1, you had a couple season 2, but even though long-term they didn't work, but people still enjoyed that season. I think they had a couple season 3, but I don't
remember season 3. I might have season 3 and season 4. I don't know if I was fully invested.
Well, season 4, they have.
That's what, Bartiz?
No, season 4 is the Pennies, Bliss and Zach.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they had like 3
or 4. Chelsea and Kwame.
Yes. So they had 3 or 4 couples. Last season, they had 1 couple. Why? Because they sat there, and what you said, I think last season was the season where somebody almost got snuck in to try to get there for followers. And then your one successful couple was Milton and Lydia, who hazed the girl, and y'all sat there and thought y'all had TV gold.
Is Lydia pregnant, or am I just making? Did I have like a dream, or am I making that up?
Is she? No.
Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like I saw a post with them recently, but I don't know.
I don't follow them. I try anything that if they come up, I scroll.
Oh no. I like Milton though.
I don't like them.
I like Milton. You don't like Milton?
I can't. After how he talked to Aaliyah at the reunion, no, I don't like him.
I don't know if I watched the reunion. Did I? I watched some of it for sure. I
Yeah,
remember
I
like
don't
Johnny
like.
was on.
Yeah, like he basically tried to shut down her voice and tell her that oh, he knows Lydia, he knows his wife, and she wouldn't do any of the stuff that she's trying to allude that she did, and that her experience is her experience. But and it's like, well, you weren't in the women's quarters because you're a fucking man, and you like you did not have to deal with the stuff that Aaliyah did. And like kind of alluding that Aaliyah's the one that cut her process short by leaving the experiment.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a leg to stand on as to like having an opinion on how Olivia conducted herself. Like, he's also younger than she is, and different sex, younger, wasn't there for the whole thing. Only knows what Lydia's told him and what he's seen on the show, and that has nothing to do with what really happened. Really, to be fair. Okay, well, let's talk about this season a little bit. Well, actually, before we get into it, in terms of some of the people coming on the show for clout, Jeremy is one of the people that we kind of found that had like a girlfriend, but he says that they broke up recently or a couple months ago or whatever. But he also, if I'm not mistaken, says in one of his Instagram like commentary, his press conference on Instagram, he says something like, everyone was well aware of where I was at, like relationship wise. So to me, I don't know what that means, Laura.
That's excuse.
Well, to me, that doesn't mean Laura, and that doesn't mean like the people that were actually affected by this. Right. I think means productions like, don't worry, not everybody has to get married. Don't worry, like I get it. You just got out of a relationship. It's fine. You could, you know what I mean? So I think that he was hinting potentially at production allowing him to be on the show, even though he wasn't in there specifically for marriage. And yes, it was an excuse, but I'm saying, like, just reading between the lines a little bit, I wonder if it was Kinetic that decided that he would be a good person to put on the show.
But my whole thing is, now that's fine, but you still like, you're still, well, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but isn't he still with somebody he found on the show? And so my whole thing is, you decided to propose to somebody on the show, and then when you met her, you were like, oh no, she's not it. I'll just go back to the actual other person I think I liked better. Like, what? So my whole thing is, the show worked. The show did what it's supposed to do. You did it incorrectly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true. Okay, so I guess all the girls were talking about Matt and Clay, talking about how they're completely the opposite and that Matt looks like Clark Kent. Is it just because he's wearing glasses? Is Matthew really good looking and I'm not seeing it because I think he's a jerk? I don't see him to be good looking. Like, he's no Clark Kent to me.
Clark Kent.
Should I do a side by side?
Glasses.
Superman. You don't think he looks like Superman? Okay, I'll pull up some pictures of Superman.
Even when AD was still talking to him, I'm like, girl, though, you gonna be so upset if you choose.
So these are all the different Supermen. Can we still see here if I go into this? Is it just the glasses?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I take off the glasses, like, you see Superman quality, because the part is that these men all look good without the glasses.
Yeah, they look better without the glasses. Okay, do you know what his last name? Matt.
I would just do Matt Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? See, right there.
No.
So I think Clay is way more handsome than Matthew. I'm sorry. Maybe just because I lean more towards black men, but there are men who are white that I think is cute and hot, but I don't think Matthew is one of them.
I think so also because of his personality is like pretty horrific.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help me be interested in him.
No.
Or think that he's attractive at all.
At all. At
But
all.
but
Doesn't help. It
they
doesn't.
think he looks like Clark Kent, and AG is like, oh. Then Alejandra and Sarah Ann show up to this event. And I guess they're contractually obliged to come to this event. But like as Sarah Ann, I would not want to be going to this event.
Sarah Ann
Is a
has balls.
Yeah.
And the fact that she has balls is the reason why she came to, because my whole thing is when AD tried to, now people have called it confronting, but I feel like she was trying to have a conversation, because I feel like she really was trying to like understand what was her thought process and everything that she did, because it was inappropriate, it was rude, and if any woman went through that, they would be upset. So why did you do that, right? And I think that she at that point just was selfish and just felt like she should have whatever she wanted to have.
Well, I mean, I think she's showing up personally. She's showing up on this because she's probably like she's supposed to, but B, I think she just like she knows that like she's gonna get the guy, right? Like, so she knows whatever went on with her and Jeremy when he dropped her off at her house. She knows whatever lies they're gonna be telling together. You know what I mean? Like, I think she loves being like the girl that got the guy in the end. She's just a kind of shitty person.
She is. And it's
more airtime and rub it in Laura's face, 100%.
And it's so funny how you, as a conservative person, she had so much like, oh, you can't do this, you can't use this for birth control. Yeah, but you also don't interrupt people's engagement. Don't sit there and go after other people's men when you weren't chosen first. Like, who does that? Like, Bliss could have did that. Bliss knew for sure Irina did not like that man. We knew that Irina did not like that man. Bliss went home. I was like, you're gonna see you made the wrong choice. And she really meant that. And what did he come and do? Crawl his ass right back to her because she was absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, and she didn't interfere in the same way at all. No. But before we get to that conversation, Trevor calls Chelsea a Chelsea dog. Like
Run zoned.
Chelsea dog? No.
Apparently, like, your dog is named Chelsea.
That's true.
Not you.
Didn't the dog pass away though?
The dog did pass away.
So apparently she followed him on Instagram. So I guess there is a discussion of whether she likes him still without the mullet. How do you feel about Trevor's looks?
I said Trevor's not really my type.
No.
I don't like big, burly, beefy, chulo type of men. Like, you know, that
like what?
Listen, I'll take flabby any day.
I don't like when it's like that, like it's like this though, like arms, like yeah. But yeah, I'm not into his his thing.
No. I'll take big and love handles any day.
Hi Danielle. Yeah, this season is a mess. It is a mess, and it's almost over, right? We have one more week, right? Yeah. What is it? The finale and the reunion? I'm hoping.
No, finale and then reunion. 1 week.
It's so annoying.
They are.
It's just like, end this, please. I mean, like, they start off with 6 episodes. Now they're just gonna spread it out 1 and then 1.
Yeah.
Strip it. So apparently he did search for her as well after he got off the show. And she tells it, like, who said I bawled my eyes out? Trevor? He said? Yeah, I guess he did was telling her that, like, yeah, I was really upset over it. I bawled my lies. We know this is lies. Lies, because A, he knows that he doesn't have to be honest anymore because she's not with him.
Right.
And B, like, it's over. So, like, he can say whatever. He can have a revisionist history here.
Yes. And also we know that he is going to be on Perfect Match. So it's like trying to build up that character. I don't know. This next season of Perfect Match, I do not have any hope for. I didn't finish the first season of Perfect Match because I
don't
didn't
remember
like
what happened, but it
Yeah.
wasn't very good.
Yeah. And so, like, we literally know there's at least one person who's in a relationship on there, and then Trevor, who is possibly in a relationship or potentially just came out of a relationship because he went on this show or whatever. And so, yeah, like, Trevor is trash at this point, because it's like you really created this character, and probably the producers helped him at this point. That's why nobody said anything.
Well, I mean, I think he's like, he got out of it. Like, he didn't have to get married. Maybe he was the person that was being talked to about, like, it was Jeremy that said something about, like,
no, it was him who was saying it. We still don't know who it was that was gonna not get married.
Trevor said that someone said that to him. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It's probably Jeremy, though.
I agree.
Very much. Or maybe Matthew even, but Matthew didn't really talk to anybody. So
yeah.
Danielle is wondering if Matthew ever found Amber. Well, she probably like changed her number.
Listen, Amber did a TikTok with AD, like I said a couple of episodes ago, and I don't think she ever allowed that man to get her phone number. We have not seen him since. So.
Oh, also with Perfect Match, there's another person from Love is Blind that's going to be on it. I don't know if it's going to be male or female. They just haven't revealed who it is yet.
Yeah, it was season 5 though. It's last season, and so I was
season 5. I thought it said season 6.
Yeah, no, it's.
Why are they holding out on it? Who cares?
They said they didn't want to spoil stuff.
They didn't want to, but they gave us 20 other people, but they don't want to spoil.
Oh, no. When he did it, or she, I don't know who runs that account. When they did it originally, Tolu wasn't on there, Trevor wasn't on there, and the guy from
Bryson.
Bryson,
Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game wasn't on there. So he's just been revealing, they have just been revealing the people slowly when the shows come out. But I don't know why they're holding off on 5 unless they haven't confirmed exactly who it is.
Trying to figure out, like, I didn't take a picture of it.
It's I messaged it to you and Miss T Joy. Hold on.
I thought it was September. I thought I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, it says Love is Blind season 5 male spoiler.
Oh.
But they had Trevor as an unknown show, not realizing it was Love is Blind season 6.
Okay.
And then Tolu unknown show, Brighton unknown show, Justin unknown show.
Who's Justin again?
I don't know who Justin is. Let me see if I see an updated one on their Twitter.
Prochet says supposedly Amber also had a boyfriend during filming.
Which Amber? Oh, Amber. Oh,
Amber and Matthew.
Okay.
That's probably why she's like, okay, I'm dipping out of here before I get embarrassed on TV. I might as well just go back to my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Danielle said, what's with all these people having boyfriends and girlfriends going on the show? I laughed my ass off. Yeah, that's what we're kind of having a problem with. It's just kind of like, to me, it takes away the fun of the show that, like, they're not actually going to fall for each other, right? It's just all fake. And, like, that's the difference, too. With season 1, I just remember when they were talking, and I was like, wow, like, they're really connecting. You know what I mean? Like, and now I'm like, they're gonna get proposed now. I don't even think they know each other. Like, I don't feel like they connect.
It's like honest feelings bring better, real TV. Like, what part of this don't people understand? That like season one,
We need
like
the real in reality TV. We
it was
do.
so real. It was just like real emotions. The even the love triangles there felt real. It didn't felt staged. It was like, oh my god, this person's really torn between 2 and 3 people, and it makes sense because he hasn't seen her, them behind the panel. So, like, it's just, I'm over the staged reality TV bull.
Okay, so Danielle wants to know why they won't put a relationship therapist or something on to help them, because they don't want them to be in like stable relationships. They want it to be as toxic and messy as possible for entertainment, unfortunately.
Oh! They did put it on. It's Izzy from season 5.
Oh, I loathe that man. So not low. I don't actually loathe that man, but like I really think he's dangerous. Like he's
I
just
mean, that is whatever happened. Izzy has a whole girlfriend now. So this season of Perfect Match is bullshit. Whatever ends up happening, like I said, so we know. And I think Izzy had that girlfriend for a bit too. So Izzy trash, Trevor trash. Another person on there has a boyfriend. I don't know why that person is on. has had
Harry's
that
on
boyfriend.
there again. Like Harry needs to stop.
There, so Game of Roses has been hinting that they think that Jessica is on there, and that's potentially how she met Harry.
That's what I was thinking.
But
We don't see her on
we don't see her on the grid. But I think the person, did they say there could be more people? There could be more people on than what is listed here. So it's possible. It's possible. It's possible.
That's what I was thinking as to how they got
Yeah.
to know each other.
Mhm.
But I didn't see her on the list, of course. But I was like, why are they hanging out like right after a season of something aired, like about relationships?
Right.
And like if Francesca is his type, she's
Mhm.
exactly his type. You know what I mean? Aesthetically. Big boobs, brown hair, petite, pretty.
Yep.
Pretty much the same.
Yep. Yep.
Danielle said they should have them do activities to get to know each other better, like on Love Island. Honestly, on the TV show that like I'm gonna actually work on this pitch, but
Mhm.
like the show that I had would be like there's definitely activities that each of the relationship coaches would set forth on them to do as their dating process is
Right.
like activities to like see how people react under pressure. So whether it's like making a cake together or organizing a trip to Europe, like I don't know, whatever, but like just different activities that can cause for argument, cause for true
I was
color.
gonna say, because we know that those activities actually cause real emotion, real argument, real, oh, I really like this person, romantic moments. So yes,
Let's make them do stuff.
have them do stuff.
Let's make them do stuff, please, please, please. We hear more that she said, Chelsea say that how much she loves Jimmy, and he asked her again if the order was switched, would you have said picked me, or like would you have said yes? And she says now she's saying no. Obviously, she has to say no now, but like I think that she would have said yes because that was a for sure engagement.
Mhm.
And yes, I think she's still competing with Jess, but if he had gone first, he would have said yes to that first, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have said no just in case what if she got said no to by Jimmy?
Yeah.
That would have been
I think they knew what they were doing. They sent in Jimmy first because that was going to be a guaranteed engagement. She probably have been like, oh, if Jimmy says it, I'm gonna have to say yes, even though Trevor blah blah blah. And they just knew that it was going to cause a problem because they knew Jimmy didn't want her, really.
Yeah. Oh, poor Jimmy. I actually feel so sorry for Jimmy.
Mhm.
So if the order so apparently he was her number one till the last day. Was that
Yeah,
Nigel?
the last day when she won the competition.
Yeah. Yeah, Chelsea is a hot mess. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, I feel bad for her. I just don't know if I can watch her on my screen anymore because I think she's so damaged and like has a lot of work to do on herself that this show is not good for her at all. And her coming on like social media and talking about like, oh yeah, I have a therapist and all this stuff, and it's like, well, you're really not projecting someone that is learning and experience and evolving and expanding.
Integrated any of the tools that your therapist taught you.
Yes. Now, one thing though, I was watching a therapist's reaction just to this show in general, and she was saying how one thing that happens though when you're going on one therapy sessions, you're only really hearing one side of the story. So the therapist ends up being kind of your cheerleader because they're taking everything that you say to them likely as truth. And so Chelsea might be presenting, oh, and I did this, and then he did this, and then he did this and this. And so the therapist would be potentially supporting what she's saying, but not actually hearing what or knowing what the full truth of the situation is to give an enlightened perspective. And so in this situation, Chelsea would need to be going into couples therapy in order for them to see the actual dynamic, because the therapist is likely to be taking what she says at face value, and what she's saying is true, that there is no lies that are being told, that everything that she is saying is the truth, and how things actually went down, when Chelsea could very well be lying or mistruths or feigning or curving the argument.
And even then, even like if you do couples therapy, a lot of therapists do choose sides and say, well, I think this person is in the right and you're in the wrong. And that's not really the way. I'm only saying that because I've definitely been there. But, yeah, I can see that. I can see that all.
Also, yes, Chelsea drinking also is not helpful because she doesn't listen already. And then when she's drinking, she doesn't listen even more. And it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to communicate with her. She's pretty insufferable. I feel bad for Jimmy. Danielle said Jimmy is too nice. And here I thought he was going to be the bad guy.
Well, I mean, too nice, I think, is a little far. I do think he's trying.
Well, okay, I have to say though, that I think it was that same therapist brought up a good point. And she was mentioning how, remember when they went to dinner with his family, and his dad was saying how, like, there's nagging every day, but I still love her. Oh, like, she's a pack rat, but I still love her.
That's what I said last episode, right?
So she was kind of alluding to, he's learned just to take it.
Ignore.
To take it, because like
He thinks it's normal.
It's just nagging, so just take it.
Yeah.
We still love each other. It's just a simple argument. Just take it.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that he doesn't realize that it could actually, A, this is worse than I'm sure what his parents have been experiencing, and B, it doesn't have to.
I mean, we never know. We never know. But but yes, I think he probably is. He has never dealt with anybody like Chelsea before in his entire life, right? Somebody with huge insecurity problems, whether they've been developed because of prior relationship issues or just self-inflicted.
That started from his childhood, her childhood, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I don't think he would be able to integrate that. There is a definite difference between what Chelsea is doing, because there's points where she's controlling, there's points where she's gaslight. It's not nagging, right? Like, there is points where she is being borderline abusive to him in ways that is just inappropriate, because she is literally like trying to like alienate him from his friends, but also like saying that he's doing stuff that like he's not doing. Like, it's not good. It's not good at all. I hope that's not what his parents have been through.
So I wrote down here, I'm like, man, Chelsea is really pretending like she's normal. Because she's just like, yeah, like, I don't argue. I was like, excuse me?
I know. It's like every time they go around people, they gloss over the points where they had really nasty arguments. Oh, our arguments haven't been that bad. Oh, I don't argue. And it's mostly Chelsea. But Jenny does it a little bit too.
Absolutely. Well, I think because he just thinks it's nagging, right? It's not an actual argument. But he does come interject into this conversation because I would say that Chelsea's body language was quite open. I would
Yeah.
say, if Jimmy had this kind of body language speaking to anybody
She would
else,
have a heart
she
attack.
would go mental.
Heart-
So she would go ballistic. So he comes over, he gives her a kiss, and Trevor's like, oh, I want a kiss too. So he does give him a kiss on a cheek. Jimmy was like very likable, lovable, like in this moment. I'm sure the producers were like, go in there and break that up, you know. And I thought he did it well, in a way that maybe like him.
Yeah.
Like him. Ms. Love here is saying that Jimmy needs to realize that sometimes walking away is for the best. Not everything should be fought for.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm sorry, Chelsea, but I am praying that man says no at the altar.
Yeah, I feel like it is getting to the point where it's the Nick and Danielle situation all over again. Nick really tried. He really, really tried, but he should have said no. And unfortunately, he said yes, and then it created turmoil, I think, for him. Like, because they could barely even at the reunion show their home life afterwards. Like, he couldn't have them like have the cameras in the house because of her. And it's like that is probably what we will see with the Jimmy and the Chelsea if he says no, and he doesn't say no. He needs to say no.
I mean, if he doesn't say no, like they would immediately they wouldn't be still together right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't-
she's pretty happy in all of her Instagram stuff. So like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Danielle says, I think she will say no before he does. I feel like she doesn't love him and is projecting.
I don't think she will. She wants to be the victim. She will allow him to say no. She will make him say no, meaning he says no, and then that way she can
Be like,
yeah, she can bite off this for forever.
see, you didn't really love me.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
told
yeah.
you. I knew it. I knew it deep inside.
Yep.
So Chelsea says, like, just after the conversation with Trevor, she's kind of just chatting with Jimmy, and she's saying that Amy and Johnny are like the strongest couple here, and she's just kind of joking about it. And Jimmy takes a real offense, like, oh, I really don't like the fact that you said that Amy and Johnny are the strongest couple. Like, like what? How can you say that we're not the strongest couple? And she's like, well, I think we're just up there. I think we're second, but he was actually genuinely upset. I didn't really understand why this got him so angry because they do argue a lot. So why?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he keeps glossing over the arguments too. I'm like, he's being just as toxic about these arguments. But I also think it's because she said it like in front. I think like Trevor was close. I don't think he was that far. I think it's because she was saying it around people and he didn't want it to like be on camera and get around to people because I think he feels like he can wave this off that it's not like
because he knows it's true, Ms. Love says.
yeah like remember with Toby and what's her face Georgia, how they like, oh, we have to back ourselves.
That's
like if
true.
if you convince yourself, if you believe in yourself enough, you convinced us in the world that you're not perfect, but you're the best couple or whatever, right? So I think that's why And it's also, remember, she said she doesn't think that he loves her, so he might think that she's still trying to
Okay.
reflect it back on him. So I understand where he was going with
Right,
it.
because like, if it's like, well, wait, you're saying that we're not the strongest couple? Like, well, like, yeah, he's taking offense. Like, that means that he's not doing enough, or
Right.
like he's
She
like
doesn't feel secure enough. Yeah,
handedly saying like, oh, like you don't love me, so like I know that Johnny loves Amy, and so they're a better couple than we are.
correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
Okay, so
Mhm.
Danielle said she had an argument with her bestie about this because she said that she would be upset that comment, and I was like, nah.
Which comment? The one that Chelsea just made?
I think the one that I think it must be about Jimmy, no? The comment that Chelsea made. I mean, sorry, Chelsea made about their relationship.
Yeah. Yes, okay. I mean, I can understand if you didn't take offense to it. I'm saying why I think he did. I wouldn't have taken offense to it. I'd be like, I know I love Amy and Johnny
I
so
would never
much.
take offense to this. Who
I would never.
cares?
I I'm
like
not, I
I could easily say,
yeah,
like, oh my god, they're so good.
yes.
They have such a good relationship.
But
Like,
I think that's the difference between the secure person and the insecure person. Because I would literally be like, "Oh my god, aren't they so great together?" Yeah, like we gotta work out our shit.
you're like, oh
But
my god, they're
we're
putting us
doing
to
it.
shame. We need our communication we need to work on stuff. Like, I'd be joking about it, right?
That's what I'm saying. I would
I wouldn't be
definitely.
like, oh my gosh, like, you don't think we are the best couple? Like, what? No? If they are, like, it's clear, it's obvious, like, they are doing better right now,
Right.
seemingly, than most other couples are.
Now, if you don't want it to get back to like AD and Clay, I get it. Like, oh, I don't want AD and Clay to think that we don't think that they're great, but they got problems. We got problems. But I'm just saying,
But I
like,
think Amy
I
would also say that, like, it seems like they're in a pretty good place.
right. Yeah. I think it's the difference between a secure person and an insecure person. And I don't even have anybody, but I know that I don't judge myself by any yardstick against another person at all. I'm gonna judge my own situation by my own situation. Like if we were good yesterday and we're bad today, we're in a problem, right? If we're good today, we're good today, we're good. I don't care about
So Rachel's a good point. Thinks that Jimmy likes to put on a front in front of the cast. Like he loves Chelsea. Remember, he was going at the how he was going at the first group outing. Yeah, like he definitely wants to keep up appearances of them
so
being
too.
really, really great and strong. And so maybe that's also why he doesn't want anybody to maybe overhear that they don't think that they are in a really good position, because then people might ask him, like, well, why? Like, you guys don't think you're doing well? And then maybe he'd have to confront the fact that he hates his
Yeah, this happened and that happened. I mean, because even when he said to Jessica, yeah, we've had issues, he didn't really delve into the issues. He just admitted that it wasn't easy. Like this entire process hasn't been easy for him. But yeah, no.
Ms. Love said it was such a throwaway comment that he should have easily agreed and made light of it. Yes, with anybody else, but with Chelsea, you don't necessarily know if it's a bomb that you like have to go and dive on top of, right? Like, because who knows if when they get home, you'd be like, honey, I can't believe that you didn't stand up for the fact that we're the best couple. Like, you didn't even say that in front of everybody. Like, he's probably like, oh my god, I don't want to cause a fight. Like, he's probably just terrified of him saying the wrong thing. Like, if he doesn't come on strongly enough about the fact that they're such a good couple, then she's gonna get mad at him for not standing up for the fact that they're the best couple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't know when the bomb's going off, so he is just trying to just like just diving on top of these things just to make sure that they don't explode. So
Absolutely.
I think it's just who he's with. He knows who he's with, and he is just making sure that he's avoiding a future argument.
Absolutely. I think so too. I think that could play into it too.
Rachel said, but he may have said something, but if he didn't, exactly, Bella could turn back on him during one of her intoxicating tantrums. Exactly.
Like you agreed with me that she said it. You agree with me?
Yeah, it's like,
Johnny
you agreed that Johnny and Amy are a better couple than we are in front of people when I brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Danielle wants to know if they get paid to be on the show. I would imagine $1,000 a week stipend. Maybe.
I'm sure they get a stipend or maybe like cover their living expenses.
Yeah. A little bit of money.
I think only The Bachelor don't pay people to do shit.
Do they not even their stipend? A stipend?
I know Married at First Sight, they definitely pay them.
Like even Big Brother pays like $1,000 a week.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I know Married at First Sight, and they're on Lifetime. I'm pretty sure probably Kinetic has a similar contract for Love Is Blind. They're on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think Bachelor's the one that don't be paying people to come on.
No, and you have to bring your own damn dresses. Like,
yeah,
excuse me, but you can't be there for the wrong reasons, huh? Anyways, we won't get me started there. Danielle said that's true. I never thought of that. Yeah, it's like he's probably terrified. Vincent Love says, "Yeah, you're right. Chelsea's not all there." Yeah, I would not want to be in a fight with her, like. Or relationship with her, because it would just be too exhausting.
Oh God, I can't. I hope. Please, God, when you send me my person, just send them right. I can't. Like, there's some things I know I can't. Like, even I was on vacation a few weeks ago or months. Oh God, a couple months ago, and people were just like upset, and they just wanted to like. Not argue, but just be negative about the entire trip and just consistently chat down about the trip. And I'm like, I'm still on vacation. Like, you can have that conversation after we leave. Like, I don't care to use my vacation to complain. Like, even if things are bad, I don't care to use my vacation to complain about the things that are happening that are bad, unless somebody passed away, God forbid, or something burned up or something. No, exactly. No negative Nancy. That is not my vibe. And I read energy. I take in energy so much. It really is bad. I can't do it. So I try very hard to especially negative energy, to keep it away from me, because it literally caused me to go into depression, because I'll feel it. And I've tried really hard, but I have to basically cut off that energy in order to save me. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody wants a negative Nancy. I definitely myself, I'm a yes person. I'm like, let's look. I choose fun. I choose happy. I choose bright side. I choose silver lining. Like I choose all those things. And interestingly enough, I don't really have experienced any sort of depression. I think one time in my life I felt very, very sad. You know what I mean? Yes, I've had sad days. I find with alcohol in general, maybe I'll get the booze blues. That's my hangover, is just kind of being a little bit sad. But in general, I'm looking for happiness.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy bringing people out of where they are, their funks at times. Like if I'm in a therapist mode, if I'm doing a hypnotherapy session or coaching session, then yes, I can do the silver lining and help people get out of whatever funk that they're in.
That was you and me the other day when I was down on dating. You're like, wait, do I need to show you? Are you sending me all these pictures?
What was I sending you? I don't remember.
It's from the dating apps.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. But you know what I mean? But if you were somebody that always were down and I don't usually hang out with people that can't get out of these funks, because for me it's too exhausting, and it really hurts my soul when people are really, really sad all the time. It's just I just can't do it. Find the silver lining, look on the bright side. There's always something better. People do end up flocking to me because I am that person, but the super negative people don't end up kind of being able to be around me because I'm always too bright.
Yes.
So
Same.
Get
Like
out of here.
I've gotten into it with negative people because I'm just like, do we have to do this? And they're like, oh well, you and your toxic positivity. And I'm like, being positive is not toxic. I can sit there, I will get passionate, I will get angry, I will call shit out, but being positive is not toxic if it's proper. Going and being negative all the time and finding any little thing to tweak and push and pull it.
Danielle says I'm the same way. I'm Pisces, so yeah, Pisces. So be careful, Pisces, because Pisces sometimes can get sad and like they can mull over things internally and they suffer in silence alone sometimes. And so Pisces, like I have a few Pisces friends, and I'm always like, I always have to just check in on them because they could be sad and they would never tell me. They would never tell me. And so like Pisces, yes, they sometimes like to suffer in silence. So
True.
Pisces, you can always come to me. Like, I understand, you guys. Danielle says dating apps are a pool of piss.
You know what's the worst one right now? I keep getting messages from Facebook dating from men who want to match me in friendship. Who the fuck told you that I'm on this app for a friend? I don't need no friend. It's a dating app. Why do I need friends? And a lot of them are younger men, like 30s, 28s. Like, why? Why do you think I'm on here for friendship? I am not. This friend request me on Facebook. It's the worst. The worst.
I should see who's messaging. Okay, that's something I wanted to do, is just like go live and just scroll through. But like, I guess you can't really put people's faces up there. But like, I think it would be so fun just to swipe live with like with a chat. Maybe that's something you can do in like a Patreon group. So it's like it's closed to the public. But like,
yeah.
There's a group.
Oh my god.
No, Facebook dating is literally like the worst streets that there are. Like it's the worst. The worst. I mean, a lot of people message, but like, I'm just like, I never really respond. I don't know. Another thing too is like, if you make like a weird spelling mistakes and stuff like that, and it's like, I'm not going to answer you back if you can't figure out how to say how are you without making a spelling error, like, and you're gonna send it, like, you're not the person for me, right?
Listen, I'm not. I'm the opposite. I'm probably the one making the mistake.
No. Look at this one. Hold on. Okay.
Ooh, that's a bot,
right?
That's got to be a bot. That's got to be a bot,
right? Like, so, like, I'm just was like, okay, nope, I'm not responding.
That's got to be a bot. Though to be fair, Marlena from the Bachelor, she got married. She met her husband on Bumble, and he also could not spell very well. Come to find out, it's because he was Italian. He had just come to this country.
That's different, though. I can understand. I can suss that out. I'm talking about like that. That's what I'm.
That's a bot. That's a bot. Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I'm just telling the people out there, just don't necessarily like be discerning, right, between possibly your foreign love of your life.
I listen, I speak multiple languages, so like I can tell the difference of like grammatically if somebody is saying it because they are translating as opposed to that either says lazy or it says bot. And so that's what I'm saying. Lazy or bot.
Yep. I agree.
It's all true. It's all true. Okay, back to this show. So okay, Jeremy and Laura. I was just like, go get him, Laura. Just like, I just want, like, he makes me so mad that I want her to attack him. Like, that's not the way.
Laura's not perfect.
I'm in love.
Laura is not a perfect person, but god damn it if she's not the right person here.
Right.
And and the thing is, it's everything. Now see, this is real TV. Everything he needed. So that, because she's borderline cursing him out, but also not, and holding him accountable. Absolutely, because he is the worst.
I wrote down, he is infuriating. I wrote infuriating out in capital letters. So that's probably just like watching him like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so angry.
Yep.
And okay, so we could talk like endlessly about the fight, the argument they're having, because he's just like so like nonchalant and saying that she's in the wrong. And like, I asked you for your address because I wanted to send you flowers. Like, she didn't ask for you to send her freaking flowers. He wanted you to take accountability for the fact that it was inappropriate that you were at Sarah Ann's house until 5:30 in the morning without letting her know and without apologizing for it, you jerk. And so he wouldn't take accountability. It all just became around the fact that he didn't like her tone about how she responded to him when he's the one that was the asshole. And then when he said, I packed up your shit. She's like, oh, I'll come and get my shit, whatever, next week or whatever she said. And he's like, I already packed up your shit. Excuse me? Did you say shit or stuff? I said shit, but I don't know if he said shit.
I don't know which way he said it, but either way, it pissed me off.
I was so pissed. And then after he was like, I didn't make my mind up yet. I didn't make my mind up yet. And it's like, well, you must have made your mind up at some point when you decided to pack up all of her stuff, right?
Yeah. To me, your mind was made up when you decided to roll Sarah Ann over to her fucking house and sit out until 5 o'clock in the morning. But that's just me. I think that was just Laura too. How about you?
Oh, it was me. It was me. It was over when he had the conversation with her after that event happening, because he decided to try to deflect what was really going on, which is the fact that he did something that was wrong, and like, for someone that's engaged, that's just really inappropriate to be going out with basically an ex till 5:30 in the morning. Like, that's just very inappropriate.
How inappropriate! And to come back and be indignant.
Danielle's like, I can appreciate someone like Laura. She's real. Absolutely. And yeah, there's no way they just talk till 6 a.m. Exactly. And nothing good happens after 3 a.m.
Not after how everything went down in this episode. There's no way. If I was giving him any leeway of just driving her home and then talking and just dropping her off, all that went out the freaking window with how she was acting when AD tried to talk to her, and how everything went down in this episode. Sorry.
Ms. Love says it's hilarious that he thinks that anybody would have anything but smoke for him after what he did. Exactly. Even his mother was like, I would be waiting for you. Like, I would love for his mom and Laura to be there at the same time, like the next morning. Like, if you didn't do anything wrong, why are you sleeping on the couch? Right? Because you didn't want to smell like Sarah Ann, probably. Anyway, so next scene, because like she walks away, she says, kick rocks with open-toed shoes. I was like, maybe practice a better line there, Laura, but like, it was okay. Yeah. So AD does call out Sarah Ann, and they're sitting and chatting. And Sarah Ann is another person that's just completely insufferable. She deserves Jeremy, because if that's the type of person that you want to be with the way that he treated Laura, like, I'm very excited for him to screw you over, to be honest.
I was gonna say, how they all added, how you get him is how you keep him.
Absolutely, AD is the star, because, well, some people are saying like, oh, she should have minded her own business. It's like, well, you are still doing a show. And I'm sure she had things to say because she's friends with Laura. She's been hearing the things that has been happening. Yeah. And she's probably, to a certain extent, friends with Sarah Ann. They did live in the loft together. And so maybe they've had conversations already about Jeremy when the pods were still going on, about how she felt about him. And maybe she was upset when, he chose Laura instead of her, even though she wasn't upset in the pod. She didn't shed a tear. She did. It's like, okay. Okay.
And I think that's what, like, she came off like so disaffected, like, oh, it's okay, he chose her, happy for her, but you weren't really happy for her, were you? And then when AD is having this conversation with her, and she's like, oh, my text wasn't. AD's like, I read the text.
She said it like 4 times. Like, she's
Yeah,
like, I
like,
read the
don't try to misconstrue to me what the text said. I
Yeah.
read
I read the text.
the text.
I read the text. She's like,
It
well, like,
was
if you read the
proven.
text, she's like, I read the text.
I read the text.
Right?
Meaning the text was bad. Meaning probably worse than what anybody has portrayed to us in person, like on camera.
Well, I think it's inappropriate for you to go to your ex-boyfriend that has chosen someone else to get engaged to and say, hey, if it doesn't work out, I'm here. We
Yeah.
should talk. Like, it's just inappropriate at this point to be trying to have something happen on the side. And then her argument is like, well, I'm a realist. I'm realistic.
Yeah.
You know, things don't usually always work out. It's like, well, you inserting yourself there is like making it more of a likely possibility, because like maybe then he's going to start be thinking like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I should, or maybe she'd find the text and get upset about it, which she does, you know?
Yeah.
So no matter what, her sending that text was ensuring that there would be some rocky roads with Jeremy and Laura.
And I'm sure Sarah Ann has been portraying how much she's friends with Laura, friends with everybody else. Like, and this is not a friend does. This is not Love and Basketball. There was no loyalty to what's her name's character from Monica. Like her, so her doing that and after they had all this history is way different than what we saw here on camera. That was inappropriate. I'm sorry. Just for this experience, that was inappropriate.
Ms. Love's saying Sarah Ann was acting like she was completely justified to do what she did. They deserve each other. Yeah, they do, because it's so inappropriate. And I can just see her. She would be so nasty if Laura did the same thing to her. So she'd be like, why is she doing that? He chose me. Like, why is she trying to come in here and interfere with our relationship? It's over. He chose me. Like, that's how she would be acting.
Yeah, Chelsea didn't even do all of that.
Exactly. Probably she already realized that he sucked. Oh no, there's no way that she's a girl's girl.
No.
I was just saying, like, I'm like, press her, AD, press her.
She's like, I don't need friends. I have friends. I don't need these girls. So then why are you here?
For Jeremy. So she does though. So what AD really wanted to know was, did Jeremy leave the door open? Yes. And she kind of pitter-pattered around it, and basically said that if Sarah Ann had said, are you sure, then maybe things would have been different. And I'm like,
which if he did say any of that, it was a gaslight. It was a gaslight. But I also think that
I mean, I could also see him be teasing on that 5:30 a.m. pillow talk.
I was going to say, like, I don't think the response to the text was what left the door open. It was the car wreck.
Oh, maybe. But I was gonna say though, like in the text, or in when they were having their clandestine 5:30 a.m. chat, him being like, well, like we could have done this, but like why didn't you fight for us? And she's like, well, I thought that you just didn't want, you know what I mean? It could have been like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. I think that's where the door got open.
Wait, I said he said she was ended it. I don't know what I was writing there. Okay, I don't know. Anything else you want to say about that conversation? Okay, why are people coming up about AD in this situation?
They said she was being confronted. You know what it is she's a Black woman. She wasn't even raising her foot, but the fact that she was being stern with her and not forceful, but like holding her to the fire. That I saw the text. Why? What did Jeremy do in response? Is there something that we're missing? Because it seems like y'all are like going into this in a way that is inappropriate. And instead of Sarah Ann being honest, she's covering up her inappropriate behavior and his. And fine, if that's what you want to do, like I mean, we saw something similar. I feel like with Jackie and what's his name in season 4, when it came to Marshall, and right. So invasive. When at the end of the day they wanted out, they both agreed that that person wanted out, and they were going to be with each other regardless of whatever it is. That's what we were having here, and she just wouldn't admit it to AD. And I think, like, if she was more honest with AD, we wouldn't have gotten the way the conversation went. I think that's what AD was like. Listen, we're friends. I might smack you on the hand and be like, listen, that was wrong and rude, and I feel sorry for Laura because I do really think she liked him. Just keep that in mind, but I'm here for you if you need me, whatever, whatever, right? I think that's what AD would have done.
I mean, that's the thing that she was just be like, okay, girl, come and talk to me. What's going on? Like, just make me understand what's happening. Did he leave the door open? Like, why are you in this mess right now? Like, and like you said, is there something that we're missing, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think that she went in with a little bit more of wanting it like an open conversation, but because Sarah Ann was being like cagey and realistic and not offering the truth up, I think she thought that she could snow AD and think that she was an idiot, and AD was like, wait, no, I saw the text, let's get back to like the question that we're answering. I think that because she kept on pressing, because Sarah Ann was dodging, is why it looks like whatever they're saying that she was doing, which is very
that's what it is. And because they wanted it they, like Sarah Ann, they wanted her to let it go because it wasn't her business. But my whole thing is, I think she was trying to figure out what was two friends' position in a situation that she knows how she would feel on either side, right? So I think she was trying to give Sarah Ann a chance, but Sarah Ann is a dick. And so at the end of the day, she deserves Jeremy and deserves whatever happens after this. And so I'm good with it. Like, I was good with the conversation. I think the conversation was necessary, especially for us as an audience. And we never know. The producers might have told AD to talk to her, but I don't feel like that. I feel like AD would have talked to her anyway. Yeah.
So Denise says that my notes was probably about Sarah Ann saying that Jeremy said that he was going to end it with Laura. Yes, yes. That because he did say that to her. That's what she said that he said, that he was planning on ending it with Laura. So that's why she feels justified in all of this, because like he made a mistake. He's going to end it with Laura, and maybe he was going to end it with Laura, but like he should have just ended it with Laura instead of pretending, like just be like, I talked to Sarah Ann. I realized that there was feelings and emotions there that I didn't really address, and I know that I made a commitment to you, but I just don't think I can follow through with that.
Like, this is on me. I messed up. I was torn between the two of you, and I made the mistake, and it's not you, right? Not, like, really, we probably weren't meant to be, because nothing you could have done either way was gonna make this situation different. I think she would have felt better knowing that, because is how she feels. Like, he never wanted her, so just take the hit, eat it. But he can't do that because of freaking he is.
Rachel says AD ate Sarah up. The Lachey's could never. Yeah, they could never. JBUK wants to know what we think about Laura encouraging Jess to connect with Jimmy is giving Sarah Ann 2. No. I didn't particularly like that she was suggesting that Jess go talk to Jimmy. I didn't think that was appropriate at all, but Jess didn't do it. So, yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so I don't really know if that's what she was trying to do, or if she was trying to get Jess closure. Because remember, at that point, Jess was like, she was afraid to talk to him, and he had to pull Jess, and then they had a conversation.
So like less of a slide into his DMs and say like, hey, if this relationship isn't working, call me, but more so like when we do see each other, have a conversation.
right, and have closure, because she said she still had feelings, and it was like, it was weird for her, and she could tell it was also weird for him. And I do think the conversation seemed to help both of them, as far as we know, that they don't seem to have that nervous tension. Sometimes in certain situations closure is necessary. So all these people are up with it. True.
Agreed, Ms. Love. All these people are in each other's
True.
business. Why is AD the only one that
Yes.
should mind her
And
business?
and that's why I never said anything about Laura saying what she said to Jessica, because I didn't feel like it was in a malicious place or anything. And she's her friend, and they've all experienced the same experiences in a different variety of ways. So I agree. Like, I don't feel like anybody should be told to stay out of it.
No, I mean, I think that the comparison for the other one is that Sarah Ann was basically sliding in to get closure from
That's not
Jeremy.
what she was doing.
That's not what she's doing.
That was not
Basically,
what
they
she
weren't doing the same thing. It
They
seems.
were not doing the same thing, because even like I said, even when Jimmy brings up Chelsea and says, like, they've had a rough patches or whatever, Jessica is like, well, be kind to her, do this, really get, like, show her how much you, and she's like, and don't take this from an ex, or think like I'm getting in the middle of y'all relationship. Take this as her friend. That is the difference between somebody, like, because if he's gonna come to you, he's gonna, again, I said the same thing about Zach and Bliss earlier. If he's gonna come back to you, he's gonna come back to you. You don't need to do anything, and you don't want somebody that you had to do anything to get them to come back to you.
And also, like a difference with everybody being in each other's business, is they all dated the same guys. So they do know these men a little bit better than it just being a random boyfriend
Absolutely.
or ex-boyfriend. You know what I mean? And so, like, they've had conversations with them, they've dated them, then they've
They know
also
what they
heard them
want.
talk about the dates that they've had with them,
Correct.
whether there's multiple people talking about the same men or not. And so I do think that they have a little bit more leeway to discuss what's going on because they have a little bit more information and insight. So yeah, I don't think that they should be bothering AD. Like, this is what the show is. It's like getting each other's business about these dates. I didn't understand why the producers left in Trevor saying, "Oh, Laura's kind of mean." Like, Laura was like my number two. Like, Laura's kind of mean.
I don't know.
Why do they need to leave that in?
You know what? Production has this way, and the Lachey's will do it at the reunion. If Sarah Ann and Jeremy or Jeremy is still together, they're going to try to set it up that they still created you know what they did with season 4. They're going to still try to come up with this. We still created a couple. Look at that. Look at what we did.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, there's no way that they're gonna stay together for a long time. Like, I just can't see that. So we have the Sarah Ann and Jeremy conversation. She kind of pulls them over to chat, and they're on the dock, and she's just like, I'm not going to be interrogated. Like, she's just all up in arms about like how AD approached her about the situation. She's like, they're painting me out to be a horrible person. It's like, actually, nobody's actually said that you're a horrible person. You're just asking what happened and why you did it. That's it. You're the only one that's put horrible person on top of.
And the thing is, if she was honest, she'd be like, I realized I was really in love with him and that I should have fought harder for him. And he even said it when we talk later, that I didn't fight harder for him. So this was my way. And, I'm sorry that it interfered in Laura's engagement. I'm sorry I hurt her feelings. And I probably do need to apologize to her. I don't want anybody to be upset at me. But it's just between the two of them, just indignant. They both just get to be indignant for freaking over other people. Who does that?
Rachel's like, Sarah was being ridiculous. She had all this smoke once AD was out of earshot. Eye roll. Yeah, like, get out of her. I wrote down, I'm like, I can't stand them both. They're just the worst, both of them. Now she's crying, saying that she's not that person, and that's not life. And, she needs to say what she needed to say. And they talked about making the wrong decision in the pods. He said this, that he made the wrong decision. And they're like, what do we do now? And he's like, want to go ride jet skis? How disrespectful. These two are garbage. Like,
Garbage.
just trash. I don't say many people are trash, and these two, trash. Like, just, I'm just so.
But you see how? Do you see how they ended the situation? So can you imagine? No wonder that woman's mother came out talking about him ending that engagement with the baby, and so it's like. Now we see how Jeremy rolls and how he does things. So anything that they say, I truly believe because he did that shit.
Denise says, oh my God, Jeremy couldn't care less about Sarah Ann as well. There's no way that man was worth her reputation. Nope, but she's going to get popularity. She wants the popularity.
I think she's pretty, and I apparently...
Is she a Scorpio? If she's a Scorpio will like that energy no matter, like, it can get behind that energy.
Apparently I think he asked about Instagram followers or social media following. I think it was either Bachelor Cruise or somebody said that he was asking about how social media following. So remember when we were thinking that, oh, he didn't like her because she would want somebody to take pretty pictures of her?
It's probably like, oh,
match made in heaven, possibly.
Maybe let's like create this entire like storyline about us so that we can just get like so much negative publicity and fame.
Yep.
Interesting. So yes, also women like Sarah Ann who make themselves the victim when they are victimizing others is just too much for me. Agreed. It's just, it makes me feel sick, to be honest. So they go and ride their jet skis and they're just having a gay old time. And wait, he wants Grace. I guess he's talking about with the boys about wanting Grace. Laura thinks that he should have chosen. Oh yeah, Laura thinks he should have chosen Sarah to begin with and left her out of it.
But that's why I'm saying if they were both just honest about what happened, I think Laura would feel better. She was in tears, and I believe her tears, because either way, it's not even just harmful. It's hurtful because you probably thought that this person was your friend, and then on top of that, you engage in this. Yeah. So I feel like all that needed to be done and said was, I fucked up. We both fucked up.
I'm sorry.
It's
not going to work. Like, I don't know why he needs to go down the nasty side of things and make Laura out to be such a horrible person for having a response to his actions. Like,
but you know what's possible? I think they think because of how abrasive Laura is that she's probably coming off more villainous than. Because I feel like the same thing happened with Jackie and Josh, that they thought that Marshall was coming off more villainous than he came off, and the same thing here. And that that here Laura's probably coming off more, and I do think that the producers were trying to lean into that, but I'm still sorry. I'm gonna be Team Laura on this. Like,
I don't care how she talks to him at this point.
How she is, and yes, has she not taken responsibility for stuff that she did? Sure. But that just makes her an imperfect human like us all. She does not deserve what they're doing to her. I don't care if you want to try to make her the villain. She is not the villain in this situation. She's just not.
Says they apparently Jeremy and Sarah were seen out together 2 days ago. They can have each other if that's who she's interested in. Great.
Let's see how long they last. Jackie and Josh are done. Let's see how long they. Oh, see.
Rachel says they are both shameless. They will stay together out of spite for a little while and then break up like Jackie and Josh.
Yep.
Jimmy says that he's 100% confident that Chelsea is his person. Like, this is after the whole thing. They're doing these dates together, so they're carving ice and putting their initials in ice, and I'm like,
ice gonna melt.
Yeah, ice gonna melt. Those initials and carvings is not forever. So yeah. AD and Clay they go decorating sneakers, which I thought was cute.
So cute.
I'd like to do that.
I was like, oh, that's actually such a cute idea.
Yeah, I love that. Amy and Johnny are talking about hyphenating their name, her name, but like the
Oh,
kid
I
his name.
loved their conversation because it was just so cohesive, didn't you think?
I did. I was a little bit upset that Amy was potentially compromising the choices that she was making about her body and her natural rhythm
Mhm,
and regulation to appease him not wanting to use condoms or
mhm,
not feeling that condoms and monitoring the woman's cycle, that wasn't enough for him. And so she's like, well, okay, well, maybe I can do birth controls now that he like looked into vasectomy and realized that it could potentially not be reversible, whatever.
mhm.
But I get that. Like, I didn't think that vasectomy was the answer in this situation, but I understand from somebody that works a lot around my cycle that messing it up with birth control could be really problematic. And so I did not necessarily like the fact that she was willing to bend there, but
Mhm.
hopefully there's more conversations to be had. Maybe they'll speak to like a fertility doctor
Yeah,
together about maybe
I
some
think
other.
that's what they need to do. I do appreciate him going out and looking
Yeah,
at the
research,
information because
100%.
men do think it's that simple. They literally think it's that simple, right? And so for him to realize, oh wait, it's not as simple as I thought, and also I understand now that it's also not as simple for you. So hopefully they like, this is what you like, if you are out there and you're having similar conversations with your soon to be spouse or whatever, both of you go see a fertility doctor, both of you go to see a gynecologist, both sit down in their office and discuss what will work the best for you both.
Absolutely. And if she's been kind of regulating her body,
Mhm,
like by not using any hormones to regulate, like the doctor, gynecologist, or hormone doctor would
mhm.
be able to help them divulge a plan that would be beneficial for both of them. So I hope that she doesn't just bend and go on birth control, because I know that a lot of people have done that and it's not good for their
It's
bodies.
yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I just hope they have more conversations. But in general, I am glad that they are talking about these things as opposed to like building any resentment, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah. Like,
yeah,
it just,
yeah.
yeah,
I like this conversation much better than the conversation that they, but they were having that conversation as basically strangers.
So the next little part was like all the women and all the men were going shopping for their tuxes and their dresses. I didn't write down that much about it. Like, I found it mid. Chelsea's who was there? I don't even know who was there for Chelsea.
Her
Um,
sister and her best friend of like 30 years.
Yeah, and so Chelsea cries. We expected that. We do
Mhm.
see AD trying on her dress. I actually like the first dress better personally, but the second dress was sexy with like the high slit. Um,
I liked the first dress. I actually liked the second dress. I feel the second dress is more her
Maybe
personality.
it's more her personality. I guess
Yeah.
maybe for myself, I liked
Yeah.
the first dress. I kind of
The
liked
first dress
the.
was gorgeous. It was gorgeous on her. She could have kept that one, but when she tried the second dress on, I was like, no, that's AD.
Did you like the "Till Death Do Us Part" on the train?
I love little like
That's
weird.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be like, it's so cheesy. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I like little odd things in weddings. So yeah, cool.
I really did love Clay speaking really highly about AD and their relationship.
Mhm.
I don't know if he's going to say yes or not, but I do feel like he likes this woman,
I
and like,
do.
and
People
he,
keep saying they don't think he does. And I just like, I feel like the people saying that just don't like him because I really truly believe he really does really like and
I think
possibly
he's like, she's
love her.
cool,
Yeah.
like she's like my friend, like
Yeah.
we have a good time together.
Yeah. I think that's why when she was like, just so you understand, we ain't dating after this, he was like, oh, okay, that's heavy. I didn't, I thought that might be a possibility. And now he's got to think about whether or not.
So Danielle. Oh no, I think he does. Okay, so I said I don't think he does. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I think he
I
likes
think
her.
he really likes her.
Because he
I
does keep on saying, like, I don't want to fuck this up. I don't want to fuck this up.
I think that's what keeps getting him anxiety because he realizes, oh, holy shit, this process actually might have caught me like an actual catch and the person for me, but I have to be ready. That's the thing. I appreciate that Clay understands that he has to be ready for her. Like he can't just go into a marriage and hope for the best. He has to be ready.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Denise says people say he doesn't like this woman because he doesn't come home. It's a problem no one is talking about, and he's basically doing what Jeremy did 2 nights a week. But he's not with like an ex-girlfriend sitting on her
But he's
porch.
also it seems like he's a bit of a workaholic. So I don't know.
I mean, I think he just
It could
doesn't
be,
know how
yeah.
to use his time and
Mhm.
put his relationships into priority. I don't think he's learned how to do that. And a lot of men I've learned they can only compartmentalize. So they can focus on career or they can focus on relationship. They're not really good at multitasking and doing both.
Mhm.
And I think especially Clay personally. So,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I would say that's the same thing, but I just think that he doesn't know how to. Ms.
I
Love
don't
says
think he has the tools either. Okay, because like we were saying last episode, right? Like that he probably saw his father just working and not coming home, and doesn't know how to meet that need. Possibly. And it doesn't sound like he has a stepdad that has been meeting that need that maybe could have taught him. And so, yeah, like he has to learn it for himself. He doesn't, I think we've discussed it before. He doesn't know any married Black people like that are in strong relationships. These are things that like, I was listening to the radio today, and so somebody was saying that Ebro in the morning they wrote into the gurus to ask about what to do about his wife, and like he was they were like on the verge of breaking up, and Ebro told him go home and do more in the house. He said he went out, he learned to cook. He said he went out, he started just doing laundry, just doing just random things in the house. He's like, he comes home now. She gives him massages. She does this for him because he went out and learned how to be a husband. He went and took classes. He went and did the things that needed to be done to teach him how to meet her needs. And Clay needs to do that.
Yeah.
And until he learns how to do that, he will never have the tools to do that. He's going to always be learning on the job.
So Ms. Love says, I feel Clay really does like her, and I appreciate that he's putting in a lot of thought into the relationship. I just don't know if he's ready for marriage. I don't know if he's ready for marriage yet either.
Yeah.
Richard says, I think Clay likes her, but he's just not ready. Exactly. Those things can exist at the same time. Agreed. Denise says, we don't know whether he's with an ex-girlfriend because he's not home. It's true, but right. And I'm just trying to say that's why Clay got. No, I mean, I get what your point is. I don't know if I think that he's with an ex-girlfriend. It just doesn't seem like it. It just seems like he doesn't know how to be a committed boyfriend, and he works a lot.
Yeah,
and he doesn't realize he thinks that because he's working that he should be allowed to be gone for however long he's gone.
Yeah.
And like he also seems like he's not been in a committed relationship where he needs to show up for somebody. And so he's always been like, well, I do what I want when I want without having to answer to anybody. And I don't think that he's learned how to answer to somebody in a relationship, you know?
Yeah, I think that's all of it.
Rachel says, I do understand the criticism, but not coming home and not communicating when he's unable to come home is a problem. Yes, hopefully that starts to get ironed out, but I'm not sure if it will be ironed out in the 3 days
in time. In the time that we have left.
So Clay and AD do go on a date. He brings her flowers for this date. He gets in a car. I really thought that AD looked really pretty. She's like, I'm elated. And she actually looked elated. Like she was even more beautiful when she was talking about how happy she was. They talk about wanting 2 kids, and they talk about like, wait, you rocking with me? I'm taking you to the moon. Oh, you rock with me? I'm taking you to the moon is what AD was saying to Clay. I mean, I would love for this to work. I don't think he's gonna say yes. I don't think so.
I keep saying the same thing. I love them, and I'm thinking in the alternate universe, this is probably their person. But in this experiment, he ain't ready. I don't think he's ready, and it's unfortunate but he also came into this experiment not knowing what the experiment was, and that kind of sucks because I do think they are a lovely couple. I don't hate them as individuals.
No.
I just don't think he's ready. She's ready. I don't think he's ready.
Ms. Love wants to know if we know if Clay has ever lived with a partner. I would say
Yeah,
probably not.
Probably not, though. The fact that he does it, the fact that he's just like, well, you have to understand it, because no other partner is ever going to understand that. So he would be more like, okay, I went through this with my last person, and I'm engaged to her, so I have to do better. I think that's how he would do. Yeah.
And Ms. Love said it seems like he doesn't know the basis of being responsible to the person you share a
That's
life
what I'm
home
saying.
with. I mean, even if I was going to be home late with my roommate back in the day, I would let her know that, like,
Yeah,
hey, because I don't want my roommate to be worried about me. So, like, like, come on.
I don't think he's ever lived with anybody. I
Yeah.
personally don't think so.
The next scene we see is Johnny and Amy. They're glamping. I didn't write anything about that. They're just
No,
camping.
I didn't either. I didn't like. They're sweet. I don't know if I hope they work out or not. Like you said, it is concerning that she does seem to have to make a lot of compromises in order for them to have a healthy sex life. But I do feel like they seem to gel really, really well, and then the families did too.
Like, the fact that, like, it's so hard for them to have sex.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
It's so strange. I don't understand.
Actually, you know what? I'm wondering. So we're saying AD and Clay would say no, but I wonder if they could say no at the altar, and maybe Amy and Johnny date.
Oh,
Like,
you think maybe they'll say no?
yeah, and then maybe they still just stay together though, like because they like each other, but they're not ready to be married because they have so much to figure out. Do you think?
I think they're gonna say yes.
You think they're gonna say yes?
Because, like, they're the strongest couple in the group.
Okay.
Denise hopes that AD actually says no. She might.
I don't. Oh.
Okay, she might say no if she goes first because she doesn't think that he's ready. But I think that they'll make him go first.
Correct.
So, yeah. I think they'll make amazing friends. Is that AD and Clay, or is that? I mean, I think they will. And then Johnny and Amy also. So it could be both. Denise says, Johnny and Amy, no notes except for the sex education is lagging in North Carolina school system. Seriously. Well, maybe it's just this age group. Like, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Possible though that North Carolina, the South, yeah, it might actually be right on the money.
Lastly, the scene is Chelsea and Jimmy going to the amusement park. They talk about, you are my person, you're my person, you're my person.
You are not each other's person, people. Please stop this.
And then I don't remember if it cuts to a different scene or where they were. Maybe I can't remember where they were. But so he asks her, where are you at with saying yes? We haven't talked about this before.
Yeah, it was just random and weird.
Hanger?
Yeah, it was random and weird, and she's hemming and hawing, and I was like, wait a minute. What did I miss?
Maybe she's trying to get her moment here and be like, like, I don't think that you love me, so I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
Just so he doesn't say no.
Yeah,
I mean, she could do that. I could see her doing that. And he'll be like, whew.
I did say a few days ago I was hoping that they wouldn't even make it to the altar. So listen.
I mean, I'm interested in their altar moment the most.
Yeah, I mean, but remember Shane and Natalie, like things happened the night before and they never even really made it to the altar. So
yeah, they're kind of there, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Anyways, that's true. That's true. Well, thank you, Tamika. How we draw this out for an hour and a half is our special gift. Our special gift to you. Thank you, everybody here in the chat, for participating in this conversation about episode 11. Do you know offhand if there's 2 episodes next week or just 1?
I believe it's 1, which is but maybe it's like a 2-hour finale, but let me check. And then I believe the reunion's not until the week after. So, but
All right. So if there's only one episode, we'll do the next episode on your channel, and then we'll do the reunion recap on my channel the week after that. Unless there's 2 episodes next week, and then we'll do 1 and 1 again. You know.
So there is one episode, episode 12. So I'm gonna assume it's probably like a very long episode. And, or maybe not. Maybe because everybody says no at the altar, done and dusted. And then the reunion's the week after on March 13th. So we will figure out episode 12 because I am traveling when the episode drops.
Right.
So I
think we were going to try
we're
and do it on
that
Wednesday.
Yeah, but we have to be able to watch the episode. And
does it drop at 3 a.m.?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll see what I can do that to watch the episode before and take notes. So we'll see.
Perfect. We'll figure it out. We'll make it happen. Yeah. Maybe I'll do next week. You do the week after if it's easier. Yeah. We will one of the 2 channels. So make sure you subscribe to Entertainment in Color. Make sure you subscribe to Reality Realness with 3 S's if you haven't just done so already. Like this video. Let us know which couples do you think will make it to the altar, and if they make it to the altar, what are they going to say? Yes or no? I would like a breakdown on your thoughts on these final 3 couples that are left in the mix here. It's been fun talking about the season so far. We got a couple episodes, a couple weeks to go, and we'll see you then next week. Bye.